What's going on, guys? Sowerz here, and today I'm doing another video. This one is going to be about the rules. Obviously AW has only been out a couple of weeks now, and the rules have been the main topic, well, by the roster changes, because obviously the game's just come out, everybody's trying to figure out the game, what rules there should be, and Uplink is probably going to be the main thing I'll talk about, just my thoughts on it, and hopefully kind of sum up why Activision feel the need to add a new game type to every single Call of Duty for the eSports side of things, at least. Anyway, obviously it's a new game. They're going to want to add new game types, for the publics and stuff like that. But I don't think for eSports we need a new game type every year, and I'll talk about that in a bit. But the game type is a scrim that I've been playing with some players that I might be making a team with. Hopefully I'll have that sorted soon, then I can start streaming and stuff like that. I wanted to focus more on getting the team sorted, learning the game before I started streaming again, guys. So should be starting that soon. And when I do, I'll just be getting people in to do 8s, trying to just grind the game, really. But like I say, one step at a time, really. But first of all, I wanted to talk about Uplink because I think it's not that it's not competitive. It is in its current state, but I think it could be if there were some tweaks to it, and I don't know if Sledgehammer will do these tweaks or not. I think everybody knows the passing feature is the main issue. The fact you can pass the ball across the whole map is, to me, mind-blowing. I think they had a good game type on there, but adding the passing feature, look at a map like Detroit, the ball spawns in the middle of the map and that's inside the box. And then you can throw the ball across map to one of the flags. So essentially all you need is somebody to be, or a couple of teammates sat at the middle ball point, and then you can just throw the ball straight to the flag and you can just jump it in or throw it in, essentially. For me, obviously Detroit probably won't be a map for it, but that's just an example of how any map really can be exploited in terms of you don't really need map control. It's just going to be a case of who gets the ball, makes the lucky kills near the ball when it spawns up, and who can throw the ball to the other goal the quickest. And for me, that is not competitive whatsoever. I think it's fun, but to say it's competitive is an absolute joke. This is why I think if you take away the passing feature, if you remove the passing feature from Uplink, it will make it a lot more competitive, because you'll have to play for map control, because you can't, it's like CTF, you can't throw a flag on CTF across the map. You have to earn map control, and yeah, I know there's 2 flags, one on each team, but you won't be able to get the ball up the map without having to control the map. I think if there's no passing involved, each team will have to kind of build their way up the map before they can put it in. So that's one improvement they could make with it. I think remove passing altogether, just delete it from the game, or at least make it so passing's only really short range. I don't see them completely removing it, and that, for me, that is the biggest issue with Uplink. The fact you can throw the ball that far, it just blows my mind. Second thing, which I don't think it's been raised by many people, but I think the fact you can throw the ball in and get 1 point, and then if you jump in you get 2 points, adds inconsistency. And my thought behind this is, kind of bear with me on this, try and stick with me on this, it's kind of hard to describe, but I think that in a situation where you're about to put the ball in, it's kind of going to be luck on whether you get 4 men down sometimes and you can jump it in, or whether you can throw the ball in. And I think it'd be better if jumping the ball in was 1 point and throwing it in was 1 point, because throwing the ball in is not the easiest thing. You see a lot of people missing it, and yeah, I know the game's new, people are learning it, but I think it'd be a lot more consistent if no matter what happens, the ball going into the net is 1 point. If you want to jump the ball into net and go for the safety of not missing the goal, there we go, that's what you choose to do. But I don't think you should get rewarded with an extra point. For me, that's just, it's like saying in football, I know you can't really use this analogy, but it's like saying in football, scoring outside the box gets you 2 points. A bit like basketball, I guess. You get more points for the further out you go, but yeah, I don't know. Actually, I've kind of contradicted myself by saying basketball, because that's how it works in basketball, I think, doesn't it? So. But I just don't think in Call of Duty that's the way it should be. I think it should be 1 point if you score, no matter what, no matter how you do it. It's situational. In some situations you're going to want to throw it in. Some situations jumping in might be safer, because it might be at the edge of the map and you don't want to throw the ball out if it misses. And this leads on to another thing, actually, people have been saying, throwing the ball out is a big issue. As we know, the edge of the map, once you throw the ball out, it spawns another map. So say your team is playing against my team and you get complete map control, you dominate the map, you throw the ball, you miss it by whatever random element that happens, and say the ball stays in the map near our base, I pick the ball up and throw it out, it'll spawn mid-map again. That is just so broken. I mean, it shouldn't be, there should be some sort of penalty for me throwing the ball on a map in that situation. And there's been suggestions saying, oh, throw the ball at the map, you lose a point. I think that would be a decent one. Throw the ball at the map, you die, maybe get a 20-second respawn delay, something like that. A bit like when you get a friendly fire kill, maybe add something like that into it. But I think in general, that's kind of another issue, is that people do have to throw the ball to get it into the net. So what if you miss and it accidentally goes out the map? Is a punishment like losing points really fair because somebody's tried to legitimately throw the ball into the goal and it's just gone out the map? I think there's just too many elements. I think one thing they could do is add an invisible barrier around every map, but that's a lot of effort. I don't see them doing that. It's a tough one. If I was a developer of Sledgehammer right now, I'd remove passing from Uplink. I'd make the point score 1 for whether you jump in or you throw it in, because I just think the fact, you know, people can jump in and get twice as many points is just, I don't see how that really balances out. I know, yeah, okay, it's harder to jump in the sense you have to get more people down, but for me, I think it's just situational. It's going to be random whether the situation arises where you can jump in or throw it. I don't think it's going to be all about, oh yeah, you've earned jumping it in. I think it's just going to be a lot to do with random luck, whether you get 2 points or 1 point. And I think that should be removed. I think it should be a 1 point a cap. You know, that's just the way I think it should be to make it even fair. And I guess throwing it out the map needs to be some sort of penalty. I think if I had to choose one, it would be... it is a tough one. I think because of the fact you can throw the ball into the net, it can go out the map, it makes it hard. But I think something where you do lose points is better. Maybe, you know, losing a point or 2 points or whatever, if it goes down the map, I think that's the best way to go. Like, maybe not an own goal, but, you know, getting deducted a point is probably the way to go. Maybe more people will jump into the net then rather than throwing it because they don't want to risk missing. So I think there needs to be some sort of penalty. I think we can agree on that. But in general, for me, even with all those additions, if you give me the option, I would not even look at Uplink whatsoever. I don't think something like, you know, having a ball where you can't even shoot or, you know, play for a position on the map. You can't do anything when you got the ball in your hand except for drop it. I just think CTF Hardpoint are much better respawn gamers, they always have been. And this kind of leads on to something I tweeted about where, you know, Activision, yes, they're making new Call of Duties every year. They've got to be different, but, you know, when they're making new game types, it's a bit like Blitz. It was like, oh yeah, we've made Blitz, Infinity Ward have made Blitz, Black Ops 2 had Hardpoint. So we need a game type that kind of says, oh yeah, this is Ghost, this is our game type, you know, Blitz, the new revolution of eSports, whatever. I just don't see why they feel the need to force the scene to use it. You look at League of Legends and Counter-Strike, and they've had the same game types for years and years. Yes, they get new champions and whatever, they tweak the champions, and tweak the guns on Counter-Strike, whatever, but that's the same as us getting new guns every year like we do. You know, it's a new Call of Duty every year, so I don't think we need to start forcing new game types like, oh, this is a new fresh game type, it's going to make it better to watch. I think the core gameplay is what it matters most. I mean, League of Legends is the biggest title in eSports, and it's used the same game type forever because the gameplay is so diverse, so good to watch and play, from what people say to me, that it's just lasted for so long. And for me, that's what Hardpoint is all about. It's such a diverse game type that it's not played in a set way. Every team doesn't play in the same way, and every time it's played in a different way. And that's what we need. We need game types that are going to be like that. We don't need a new game type every year. Yeah, make a new game type in a new game, and, you know, we can test it, and if it works, great. But I think the issue is they're making a new game type and then forcing the scene to use it, even though it's not competitive at all. That's the issue right here, and I do not understand what they're thinking. Are they thinking that a new game type's going to make, you know, the scene grow or something, or I don't know what they're thinking to it. I don't get thinking behind it. For me, it's just got no place in the scene whatsoever. And yes, Activision are the ones doing this $1 million tournament, but still, you know, what is the reasoning for it? I think as a scene we should, if we don't think it's competitive, we should voice our opinions like most people have been, which is good to see. I don't think the battle's overpowered as well. That's another thing I want to talk about. I just think all the other guns need a buff. You compare the BAL to every other gun in every Call of Duty and it's one of the weakest guns, I'm telling you now. You look at Mod 2, the guns drop much quicker. Look at Ghost, people died before you could even see them. You know, even Black Ops 2, I don't think the BAL would have been used if it was implemented into that game. It's not an overpowered gun, it's just very versatile. It's the most versatile gun in the game. And and all the other guns, the submachine guns, are just not good enough up close. And the ARs, the other ARs, are just, you know, they're not really better than the battle at range, and up close nowhere near as good. So there's a lot of things, you know. Ix did a thread, which I agree with a lot of the stuff in there. A lot of, you know, the XO bans, they need banning. The Stim, Cloak, Ping need banning. Score streaks, I think, need banning altogether, because I think every Call of Duty that comes out is going to be different score streaks, and so we need to be consistent over different Call of Duties. I just don't see a place for them anymore. Yes, Black Ops 2 wanted to grow the scene, but now we're at a point, I think, where we don't need score streaks to grow as a scene. So everybody has their own opinion on that. But yeah, if you have any thoughts about Uplink, drop them below. That's just my thoughts on it, and I think that's the main topic right now, because if we had hardpoint S&D, CTF hardpoint S&D in a best of 5 rotation, I think that'd be perfect with the right maps. And I think this game will be a very successful year, kind of similar to Black Ops 2. And I guess we'll see how it goes. But thank you all for watching this video. I'm going to be streaming very soon, like I said, once I sort my team. I'm still trying to sort that right now. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy, guys.